Okay, fellas, we're going to move on to Coach Nick Fitzgerald, who's going to talk about all things special teams. It's the second time Coach is doing a talk for us, so appreciate you coming back on. I'm going to hand it over to you, Coach, if you want to pick it up from there. Thank you.
Great. Hello, everybody. How we doing? Hope everybody's doing great and you can listen for another 45, 50 minutes for football. Here from over in Albany, New York here. So we're in a different time frames and from the States, and been coaching football since the early 1990s. Had a great opportunity to go over to England, Scotland with Simon and NFL International 3 times actually to help do some clinics all across the country, and that was a great time getting to know what you're doing over there with football and the levels that you guys have. Had an opportunity to go to Japan as well and do a clinic or 2 clinics over there, and have been coaching not only high school football over here, which is quite big, but also arena football and some college football as well. And one inevitable fact that I found out in all those levels is that the fundamentals are key in everything that we do. And when people try to do more than what they should is where they get themselves in trouble. So what we're going to really focus on is the basic fundamental stuff on a third part of the game that sometimes we kind of lose sight of because one, we don't have enough time. And two, we start to realize maybe it's not as important, but it is, and that's the special team stuff. So what we'll do is we'll kind of go into a little bit of this. I've got some video of some game footage. I've got some video of some drills, and then some things to kind of go over. So let me go through here and start to share some of this stuff with you. So we'll kind of get right into this stuff here. So we're going to focus a little bit on punt team. We're going to focus on kickoff return, a little bit of how to scout a film, and then go into kind of detail on each one of them. So just some quick things on special teams. It's 1/3 of the game, and sometimes we forget this a little bit because, again, we're very busy in terms of putting our offense and defensive stuff in, and rightfully so. But maybe not a number of plays is the third of the game, but I'll tell you what, impact. And I'll give you an example. If you're in a game that's about 27-20, on average, you're going to have 8 kickoff returns. You're going to have 7 extra point, 2-point, or blocker defense. You're going to have probably about 6 punts. That's 21 plays of immediate impact. And what I mean by immediate impact is turnover, ball turnover, field position, ability to score quickly, actually points on the scoreboard. So a lot to do with impact plays. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure we maximize as much as we can and take the little pieces that we can take advantage of, not only in drills, but alignment, setup, and some of the stuff that we can do on special teams. I always took a lot of great pride as a head coach to put specific, time every single practice into some special teams. And it was very drill specific because I believe in this. I believe the parts are bigger than the whole. What I mean by that is if we're going to do kickoff return, I'm going to have a coach take the top 5 guys. I'm going to take the next coach, take the back 3, and then I'm going to take the next coach and do the return guys, the final 3 in the back. And we're going to drill each part of that up as much as we can. And then we're going to come together and just do a couple of like a kickoff return, because those parts and those pieces are so much more important than the whole of just running a kickoff return and 11 guys at once. We want to really kind of drill it down and take full advantage of it. Each play can have a sudden impact and a shift the entire game. It's also a change of possession after each play. Again, most are point plays. Most are always field position plays, and they're always very skilled and very physical. So again, punting, we got to kick, we got to snap. There's a lot going on to make sure that we perfect this. And if you leave it hanging out there, it can expose you and cost you games, as you know, just as much as it can win you games. So just quick things on punt team. We'll go over what we do on punt and how we align. We have our snapper, which sets the line of scrimmage. And what he does is he releases to a direction. And we'll talk about that in a second. Our guards are toe to heel to the center of the snapper. 6-inch split, and their toe is to his heel, right? And what they're pretty much doing is their inside foot is constantly up and they're in a 2-point stance. And I'll talk about inside foot in a second. Tackles are toe-to-toe to the guard with about a 6-inch split. Our wings, which are right off the tackles, are just about arm length away from the tackle with a 6-inch split. And when I say arm length, I want the wing to reach out and kind of just brush the tail end of the tackle because they'll know where their alignment is. And then our gunners are 5 to 7 yards from the sideline, up on the line of scrimmage, and they're going directly to the ball. Our personal protectors about 7 or 8 yards back to the side of any overload, okay, or the punter's side foot, and he releases when the ball is kicked. And then our punter is 12 to 15 yards back behind the snapper, obviously, and releases in the opposite direction of the personal protector. So this is kind of what our punt team looks like from the start. So we have our snapper, our center, our guard 6 inches, guard 6 inches, tackle 6 inches, tackle 6 inches. Here's our up backs, which are just off the line. Again, 6 inches, but just arm length away. Our personal protectors, 7 or 8 yards back. They're going to go to an overload side, and I'll explain that to you later too. And obviously, punt is huge in terms of distance, which I'll show you some on film. We see a lot of kids in a lot of programs snap the ball at about 12 or 11 yards, and the kicker's actually taking 3 steps, and he's kicking it at about 7 yards, which is a beautiful thing because that's an aiming point for us. That means our guys from the outside on punt return will have to go 7 yards to block it. So that's our base punt here. Our tight punt, when we feel a major overload and we can't protect as well, is we'll roll our up backs up. So if you can see here, our up backs will be rolled up 6 inches from the line, and we'll have our wings, which are out here, come inside, okay? So it'll just be extra 2 guys up front for the most part. If we feel an overload or we can't block as well as we should, we'll go tight, tight, tight. Or, hey, it's late in the game, we just got to get the ball off because there's a minute left and we got to get the ball off and stop them for the last drive for the most part. So how we kind of block this is kind of very simple. What our personal protector will do, is right here, is going to call a side that has the overload, which is 4 or more guys. So he's going to say, for example, if there's 4 guys here on this side, he'll go right, right, right. And what that'll do is that'll tell the center or the snapper to block number 1, the guard to block number 2, past the center, the tackle block number 3, the up back block number 4, and the personal protector will either block 5 if there is, or pick up any garbage that's coming through. The other side, if they hear the opposite side of them, so the personal protector yells right, now the guard's going to know he's on the left. He's going to take number 1. He's going to take number 2, the tackle, and the up back's going to take number 3. So you say to yourself, let's do the math on this. That means they can cover up to 9 guys, okay? Which, 8 or 9 guys, which isn't too bad. Because when you think about it, there's got to be guys on the wings, and there's got to be a returner. So for the most part, we feel we can cover any look that goes up front. Now, if it's an even look and there's 2 linebackers, the personal protector will pick a side away from the punter's foot, right? That's pretty much the basic line, or where we feel there's a lot of leakage. So again, to cover that, personal protector will look, and what he'll do is he'll find wherever there's an overload, 4 or more guys, he'll yell that side. Center will now hear that side. He'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and he can pick up 5. Okay. And again, 1, 2, 3 backside. So we can pick up 8 guys if we have to. Okay. And our tight punt, what the difference of that is now we can count off and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we can pretty much cover everybody because you would think they would have a returner back there. Okay. So our fakes, what we look for in fakes. Let me go back here. We have 3 areas of fakes that we focus on. One is an option. So what we'll do is this personal protector will look at the line of scrimmage. If he sees an overload to this side and the next guy is aligned, head up to inside of this up back, he can call Oscar, Oscar, okay? Ralph, Oscar, Ralph. And what we'll do is we'll run option to that side. Because if there's an overload over here, all we're going to tell the line do is just everyone step to the side of the play and hook the first person they see from head up to outside. The personal protector will get the ball. He'll press the line of scrimmage as fast as he can. The punter will get an alignment, and he'll pitch the ball if he has to. The whole idea is to turn this corner as fast as we can. So you say, what do we allow the personal protector to do? We allow this guy to do a lot. If he can read things up front and see a major overload to a side, and there's only 3 guys to this side, and 1 is on head up the inside of the up back, why not? They're giving it to us. We're going to take advantage of it, and we can run option. If we feel that somebody's not covering our wideouts or our wings, we'll call a quick fade. And it's called just double fade, but it's just a quick throw. Just a real quick snap and throw. Snap to the personal protector and throw. So when will that happen? Sometimes these guys will cheat over here, okay? And if they cheat towards the line of scrimmage, we'll just yell out the fade and we'll roll it to that direction. And then the last is just a punter keep. If we feel there's still 3 guys here, but we just need an extra blocker, all right, we'll just do the keep. So what'll end up happening is we'll have an extra blocker to the side, we'll hook the corner, and the punter will just hit the corner as fast as he can. What we tell our punter to do is cheat up from 12 yards to about 10, get that ball, hit the line of scrimmage as fast as we possibly can. So back to what the base is. Personal protector sees what's on the line of scrimmage, can count out right or left. If he looks to one side and notices there's just not as much, there's only 3 players, we're going to take advantage of that and go. All right. And we always tell our personal protectors, if it's less than 6 yards, go for it. If it's anything more than 6 yards, punt the ball away. I don't like to take chances when it comes to that. Okay. So a little bit about just the punt and the punt setup and some of our fakes. Just some punt drills, some basic things, blocking and releasing. I'm not going to show in too much great detail, but I've got a couple of drills I just want to show you on how we align and how it's important to step hard inside and block from inside out when we do our punt. So I'll just kind of show you some of this. So this is our kind of our punt alignment. I'll just kind of show you it again from the beginning. So just really kind of simple. So our alignment, if you notice up front here, here's our center, all right, just 6 inches, tackle 6 inches, and our up back just off the line, but 6 inches as well. The personal protector right here is going to count out. He now sees 4 guys. There's 1, 2, 3, and there's another guy outside here. So he'll call left, left, left. The center will now pick up 1. The guard will pick up 2. The tackle will pick up 3. And the up back will pick up 4. The personal protector will pick up any garbage that happens inside, okay? So what'll end up happening is on the snap of the ball, what should happen is the center should step hard inside. When I say hard inside, I want that right foot up hard and attacking the outside shoulder or the inside shoulder of the defender. Same thing with the guard. Kicking the inside out, tackle inside out, personal protector inside out. So as we step and snap, what should end up happening is just a hard step to the inside. Now you say, why inside? Well, the quickest route to the punter is inside. We want to force everything outside and push outside, okay? This is not bad position here on the guard, all right? Not a bad position on the guard. Center should be a little bit lower, kicking inside out, and the personal protector is going out to, the up back's going out to get, all right? Out to get number 4. Very important, because what we want to do is we want to form a fan approach where we want everybody kicked out so these guys can release quickly and we can push the line outside as opposed to people attacking the inside. So we'll go into another one real quick and you can kind of see how the setup is here. So again, you can see here we got left. So he'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. So he'll go left, left, left. Okay. So that'll let the guys know where to attack the line of scrimmage and go out and block inside out. That's not a bad position to be in. I would like to see this guy attack more. Okay. And I'll explain this in a second here. I like to see the up back attack a little bit more than what he's doing right here. These guys are just kind of showing it for me, but I want to go out and get him. I want to go get him, and I want to push out. Again, guard in great position here. Inside leverage, tackle. Good inside leverage, should kick out, and kick out. So again, what we're doing is we're forming a fan. Obviously, the right side would be doing the same thing, but they'd only have 3 guys to block as opposed to 4. Okay? We could pick up an 8th guy with our personal protector, and we should be okay. Okay? So that's just a little bit in the step in the position they should be in. All right? Next one. Sorry. We can kind of show this is a little bit more of a release for us. So you can kind of see what it looks like. Step and attack and then release. Okay. Now I just want to show you where the mistake is made here. Watch the guard. See the guard right here? His mistake is stepping and not moving his feet. Okay. Watch him again. Stop, and he just got pushed to the side. If you notice it, right? So what he wants to do is he wants to attack. Okay. You see where he lost his stance? So what I want to do is I want to teach these guys inside foot, attack that inside shoulder, and almost dry block it. What I mean by that is almost dry block that line of scrimmage, okay? And then they'll release up to the line and get the ball for the most part. I'm going to go back to, so this is a little bit on punt team, okay? I want to go back to the kickoff drill, or excuse me, kickoff return, and go into that a little bit. So that's just our punt drills. Nothing too crazy, but enough. Kickoff return. How do we work our kickoff return? Our center is on the 46-yard line, never in front of the ball, but must see the ball. He wants to go to the left or the right of the ball. The guards are also on the 46-yard line, outside foot on the hash, angled inside so they can see the ball. Tackles, same thing, 46-yard line, 7 yards outside of our hash, angled inside, must be able to see the ball on the tee. Fullback is back at the 30-yard line, middle of the field. And again, I'll show you this. Wings are 30-yard line with the fullback, but between the guards and tackles. And our returners are at the 20-yard line, behind the wings. And our middle returner is at the 10-yard line, middle of the field. So I'll kind of explain how this works. You see up front? So at the 46-yard line, our center is going to find the ball and just get to the left or right of it. You say, why? I don't want a ball directly kicked into him. Okay, sometimes they can kick a ball right off the tee directly into him. Just get to the left or the right of him. The guards will be even with them, but on the hashes, and the tackles will be 7 yards from the sideline. Okay, and they'll be facing in, looking inside. Our wings, we back at the 30-yard line, even with our fullback. Fullback will be in the middle. The wings will be splitting the tackles and the guards, and the other wing will be splitting the guards and the tackles. Guard and tackle on the other side. Our left and right returner splits the fullback and the wing, and our middle returner is back here at the 10. All right. So we have 2 types of returns. We look at middle return, and the way we block our middle return is this. Our right tackle, okay, blocks 2 from the right. So here's 1, here's 2. Our right guard blocks 3 from the right. So he counts off from the sideline. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they have 3. Left side, same thing. All right, 3 and 2. Okay, or excuse me, 2 and 3. My fault. That should be flipped. All right. So why are we leaving 1 alone on either side? Well, their job is to contain. Their job is to go up the field and then find the returner. But if we kick out 2 and 3, and if we kick out 2 and 3, guess what? The 1 will go around the return. So we want to waste the time on the number 1s to either side. We want to kick 2 and 3 out, and 1 will take care of themselves. They'll get themselves out of the play. What will happen on the middle return is the fullback will find the ball. When that ball is kicked, he will go 15 yards from the returner and set the wall. He'll find the ball, go 15 yards from him, and the wings will go shoulder to shoulder, and the returners will go shoulder to shoulder to the wing, and will form one wall. The middle returner will then say go when they're about 7 yards from the wall, and that wall will take off. And I'll show you that in some films in a minute. So that's our middle return. Very simple and easy. Kick out number 2, kick out number 3, kick out number 2, kick out number 3, and our center has the kicker. All he's going to do is shield the kicker. Okay? All he's going to do is shield the kicker. So if you do some math here, 5 guys are taken care of here. This one's out of position, and this one's out of position. That's 7. So these 5 only have to block 4 inside, okay, for the most part. And all our middle returner needs is one little hole to hit it and go. All right? So that's our middle return when it comes to kickoff return. So again, just so we reiterate this, kick out, kick out, kick out, and kick out, and our fullback will set the wall. He'll see where the ball is kicked. He'll go about 10 to 15 yards from the returner, and these guys will know to come and form the wall. What happens if the ball is kicked to this returner? The middle returner always says, right, 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 you got it. Right, 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 you got it. Then the middle returner will replace that guy on the wall. Middle returner will replace that guy on the wall. Same thing to the left. He's always got the call. He's got to be very vocal. He'll say me, or he'll say right, 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 or left, left, left. And he'll know this guy will get the ball and he'll replace it. That'll also tell the fullback to move the wall over a little bit either side to the hash. So his me tells the fullback middle. He says right, 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 tells the fullback to move it over to the hash to the right. And he says left, tells the fullback to move it over to the left. Okay. So basic middle return, very important to work on leverage and kick inside out. And I'll show you a drill and how that looks in a second. Our other return is our right return. What we do is we're going to form the wall the same way here, and then we're going to branch out and block it a different way. Say, okay, so it's going to look like middle return first, and then what will happen is this. It'll be a change up front. Our right tackle will take number 4 from the right because it's a right return. So he'll count off 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll block him down inside. Right guard has 5. Center has 6. We'll leave the kicker alone at this point. Left guard will have 7. Left tackle will have 8 from the right. So they will actually count. Okay. So it'll be, you'll hear right, right, right. Right tackle 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8.
Kamera açalım mı?
How we doing? The difference on the back 6 guys, they'll look like a middle wall. So back to this, it'll look like a middle wall. Okay. It'll start setting up like this for a second, and then they'll break out. So what'll happen is the right returner will kick out number 1 coming down the line. They'll kick out number 1. Our left returner will kick out number 2, which is 2 coming down the line. And then our fullback and wing will double team number 3. So these 2 guys are going to blow up number 3 and try to get him up the field as much as we can. And if we can get any shield from the returners to kick out 1 and 2, the middle returner all he has to do is follow the double team, because there'll be a whole bunch of room inside here to just get up the line of scrimmage or get up the field. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are just kicking down inside. And I'll kind of show you a drill on how we practice blocking up front in a second. So kickoff drills, just blocking, wall, and timing. So let's take a look at some drills with kickoff, okay? So this is just how we fit the kickoff return drill. Obviously, this is what it would look like on the field, but we want to fit first. So what we'll do is we'll set 2 kids up. The kid who's kind of setting it up, all right, in the white shorts, right, is guy in the white shorts is the return guy, okay? Whether he's a guard, a tackle, or whatever, he's the return guy, okay? The guy in the black shorts is the kickoff guy, so he's kind of servicing a little bit. So all we want to do is teach our kids to just get in a hip pocket and shield the guy, okay? And just stay with him up the field. So what it'll kind of look like is just stay with him up the field, if you can kind of see it, okay? So all he's doing is staying in his hip pocket and staying with him up the field. We just want him to feel leverage. You say, what do you mean leverage? Well, if a kickoff guy is coming full speed down the field, all of his momentum is going one way. So all we want our return guy to do is take that leverage and push it. But it takes time to learn what leverage is. So we want to block inside out. So we take the guy's inside hip and shoulder, and we stay with him all the way through the field. And we want him just to feel that a little bit. The next drill will kind of progress this a little bit until coming back inside all over the field so we can stay with him all through the field. Now, the difference here is now the guy's going up the field, now taking a step inside, taking a step outside, and we want to teach our kids to stay with good leverage and good position. What could this kid done differently? I'll kind of show you what he could have done differently. Right here, he starts to lose his leverage. You see it? So what we want to teach our kids to do is always keep this inside foot or his left foot over his inside foot. We always want to keep this inside foot over this inside foot, okay? So just to start it again, you see where he starts here? You see how his left foot is inside? We want to always keep that position if we can, because all we have to do is really shield and force a guy's momentum to go in the direction that he should go. So keep him inside, keep him inside, keep him inside, and this is where he starts to lose leverage. See it? But let's do some math here again. If we can stay on a block for about 4 seconds, that should give the returner enough time to find a hole and get up the field. So for this play, for the most part, he's staying with him for about 4 seconds. But I'd like to see him stay with a little bit more leverage on inside. So there's 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, and then he starts to lose it. So we can keep the leverage with that. It would be great. Then we progress the drill. We start him here, and then we have him go back 5 yards, each of them 5 yards. So now they get a realistic look of the distance on what a kickoff return would be like to block. Then go back 5, and now get into position and stay with them. Okay? So this is just the fit and feel piece. So we pretty much just want them to get used to where they should be. So back 5 yards, start to fit and feel. I don't like the leverage on him right now. I would have liked to see his inside foot again be over his inside foot. He overcommitted too much. So this guy could have took the back door on him. So what we'll do is we'll drill this to keep him inside so we can shield and take his momentum to a direction. Okay? And obviously we want him to stay with him as long as he can. And that's kind of the idea. So let's go through next drill, same drill, but 5 yards, come back inside. Again, I'd rather see better leverage off of him. Okay? Next drill will progress 10 yards. Okay? So what'll happen is, I think this is the next one. No, my fault. Let's move this over here. So this is kind of the same drill, but it should progress back 10 yards. Now he's getting a realistic look at what it would look like on a kickoff return. Okay? So again, back to this. Now he's going back 10. The other guy's going back 10. So they're actually 20 yards apart from each other. Now he's gaining position and getting position to stay with him. Okay? So if you notice, we progressed the drill from staying on his shoulder and hip just to get a feel of leverage momentum. Stay with the guy, leverage momentum, and feel where his body is going and push him in that direction. Try to block inside out. Then we progress 5 yards so we can start to feel a little bit more leverage and in free space and what it's going to look like. Then we progress to 10 yards. And here's what I'll do. I won't go to 10 yards until I feel these kids have it down to the 5 yards. I won't go to 5 yards until I feel the kid has leverage and placement down first. So I won't progress to point C unless I got point A down perfectly. Because the only thing I'm doing with that is setting the kid up for failure or a player up for failure. So we'll do step by step until they feel it. And they get this pretty good eventually when they start to kind of get that fit and feel piece. So you can have every kid do this or every player on your team do this at once actually, and just kind of do some drills as you're going through. Then you can find your best blockers to put on your kickoff return. And this is great, just 1, conditioning drill, 2, leverage drill, just blocking anyway. It's actually pretty good for wide receivers as well in terms of blocking in the perimeter. So that's kind of our kickoff return drills for the most part. Just basic ones. I can go into more, but I know I only have a certain amount of time. I want to get into some other things as well. So our kickoff return reminders. Here's some things we always want to tell our players. The ball is live after 10 yards. Okay, that ball hits the ground, it's live after 10. Front five must make sure the ball is kicked before moving. I don't want to see my front five bailing until the ball is kicked because it's going to be an onside kick at any time. Blocks must be above the waist and in front. Okay. If you see some back off. I always tell guys, if you see back off, let them turn back around and then get into them. Field the ball in the air, and middle returner always makes the call on who gets the ball. I've seen it way too much. I've seen it in college and I've seen it in pro where the middle returner never says anything and nobody knows who's getting the ball. So the middle returner dictates the pace all the time. Okay. Next thing I want to get into is a little bit of scouting. How do you break down films and what are you really looking for, right? So if you've got some films of your other teams or even your own team, you want to start breaking down what you can find and get the most out of your block or most out of your scouting. I'll tell you what, if you can take a little bit of little pieces every once in a while out of kickoff return and punts and all the special teams and take a little bit more advantage of what other teams are doing, you'll be surprised. The change in the game, the momentum shift, you can get a kickoff return for a touchdown. It's an incredible momentum shift. You can block a punt, incredible momentum shift. And again, through my years, the amount of games that we've won or lost on special teams, amazing. We won our state championship football game here, Syracuse in the Carrier Dome where Syracuse Orangemen play. We blocked an extra point early. Okay, we blocked their extra point and we started to make them go for 2 the rest of the way. We won the football game 20-19. We never blocked that punt. That would have never happened. So you think of those little things that could happen to change the pace of a game. So let's go into a little bit of scouting, okay? And I'll show you some films that we have, okay? So here's a kickoff and a kickoff return. So what am I looking for as we start to scout? I'm right now, I'm starting to look for. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. Sorry, guys. I'm going to start to look for where there's holes on the kickoff return. So I'm going to scout like I'm on kickoff right now. Okay. So let's take a look at a few things. If you now look on their kickoff return, I see 2 guys down the middle of the hash, then 2 more guys down the middle of the hash. And I see a big hole, right, from the front line down the middle. So if I've got any kicker who can kick the ball short in the middle, I'm kicking that ball short in the middle. I want that ball to hit the ground at all costs because 1, the ball is live, and 2, the ball can bounce anywhere, especially on turf, and we can get the ball. Here's some other things to think about when you're on kickoff. Who's usually the best guy? Who's usually back at return? The best athlete of the other team. Why would I want to kick the ball to the best athlete of the other team? I want to find where number 52 is with hand gloves on the second or third line, and I want to kick the ball to him, right? Or I want to find a hole in the gap in the middle where I can kick the ball so I have a fighting chance of 1, a kickoff getting the ball, or 2, all right, or 2, them muffing it or just falling on it. No return in my mind is the best thing in the world, right? I don't want to kick that ball to that best returner and have him get 30 yards and it was a waste of a kick for us. I'd rather kick the ball to the 35, hit the ground and recover it there and not take a chance of a return. So I want to look at different areas that take advantage of. So let's kind of take a look at some other things that happen. So as this kick happens, I can stop this film. Here's 2 things I noticed already. Watch the right guard, okay? He starts to bail and turn. Look at the hole back here in the middle again, past the upbacks around the 35-yard line. To me, there's a huge hole there. I want to try to kick that ball in that direction. I want to go back to the front here. I want to see. Look at the right guard again. Start the bail before the ball is kicked. Okay? He's backpedaling, okay? And he's bailing before the ball is kicked. If I can kick an onside kick to him, he's got to now replace himself and come back, and he might be in trouble already. I might be able to take him out and return the ball. So those little things I'm looking for when I'm looking on the film for something, okay? And if I notice back here, I could take this film back a little bit more. Okay. Look at again the hole in between the middle here around the 30 to 35 or 30-yard line. That's where I want to find the hole that I can kick. And if I don't have a kicker that can kick it to the 10-yard line, I'm kicking the ball in the middle here someplace. I'm going to teach the kid to bloop kick this ball, or the player someplace in the middle where the ball can hit the ground, or not as good of an athlete's going to get the ball. Because again, I'm only going to give up, if I kick the ball deep, I'm probably going to give up 20 or 30 yards anyway, because I can't get down there. So let's take a look at another one here. Look at the right guard again. I watched some consistency. He starts to bail again. See how he starts to do it? So I want to start taking some notes on this. If I'm going to onside kick this week, I'm onside kicking to the left. Okay, look at where he is already. He's backpedaling. Again, if you look at the right guard, he's backpedaling, and you can see where he's going. Same thing, hole in the middle at the 35-yard line. Take a look at the hole I want to take advantage of. Okay. Let's take a look at another kickoff. I think this kickoff guy took advantage of this because he saw it. Okay. Same thing here as you can see it. Right guard takes again. He's bailing again a little bit. I want to take advantage of that. And then watch when a squib kick happens on a turf. Harder to get to. And guess what? For the most part, as long as you tackle, you should be okay. Obviously, if you don't tackle and cover, it doesn't matter what you do. For the most part. I go on to a couple more here and just kind of say, what am I looking for? Okay. This is another team on the kickoff return. Where's the hole for me now? All right. They got 5 guys up front, right at the line of scrimmage. Pretty good. On the snap of the ball, is anybody bailing? Now I'm seeing the tackle bailing, and I'm seeing both tackles bailing. All right. I want to take advantage of this because, again, where do I want an onside kick? Look at the areas that I have, right? Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened to that. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know where my whatchamacallit just left. Sorry, fellas. That was odd. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know where that ended up going. Can you guys still see it?
Film's still on there, Coach.
Film's on.
It's still on there?
Yeah, frozen, but it's unless you've got it on pause.
I don't know what happened to that. I'm sorry. Can you see the film now? Or no?
It's still frozen, Coach.
Still frozen?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to my video. It just bailed on me. Jeez. Sorry about that, guys. Let me know what happened to my video. I'll go back to share screen again. Back on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to the video. It's kind of eluded me there. All right. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat, I guess. I'm going to move on to a couple here. Again, as we kind of watch some of this, what am I looking for? I'm looking for holes. Okay. So let's start this from the beginning. I see the right tackle again bailing. Any guy who's backpedaling and turning his shoulders, I want to kick to that area. He's got to now return and come back. I can take that guy out, and there's going to be a clean shot or a clean area for me to get that ball. And it's going to be much harder for him to come back towards the ball as well, especially if someone's coming after him. So if I'm watching films and I'm scouting for this week, I'm going to tell my first guy who gets there to take out this tackle because his leverage momentum is going in the wrong direction. And I'm going to have my buddy pick up the ball as it's coming here on a kick, on a onside kick. I can also see in the back here, where's the hole? Well, take a look at it for yourself. There's a big hole back there, right? And we want to kind of take advantage of that hole a little bit, all right? So what are we going to do against this team? We're going to go after that left tackle, and we're going to kick that ball in the middle again, okay? Because there's a huge hole for me. Same thing again. Look at the tackle's shoulders here, completely turning, going backwards. I'm seeing that at a consistent level. That's where I want to take advantage of that. And then there's still a hole in the middle here where I can take advantage and get that ball to them as opposed to their best athlete in the back. Okay. Another kickoff return. Just move this around here. Sorry, I get this. Okay. So again, as we see things leaving, let's take a look at where we are and who's bailing again for me. You guys can already start to see this. There's two things for me. There's a hole in the middle again back here in the 35-yard line, and I see a guard bailing again. So I want to take advantage of that when I get that kickoff and take advantage of those areas. Okay. Now, if I'm scouting here on somebody who's on the kickoff, now I'm a kickoff return guy and I'm scouting on the kickoff. I'm noticing a couple things. Take a look here at their number ones. When I say they're number ones, the guys closest to the sideline. One, they're trailing, and two, they give up the sideline. Okay, so I'm going to set up my right or left return because they give me that area already. And they're really not hustling down there, right? So if I'm a coach who I'm looking for the opponent's team kickoff, I'm now going to start to scout this up a little bit. I can start to see their number ones are trailing. Look at the number ones, especially this kid back here to our side. I'm starting to see him trail way too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of that. And either my middle wedge is going to be pretty good, or I can take a left return on this, because I'm going to be able to kick out number one very easy. So now my kickoff, my returner only pretty much has to do is follow that double, and hopefully we get some kickoff on number two or some block on number two. Number two's not hustling down there as much either. So my left return looks pretty good here. And look at the levers to the outside that we have. Luckily, one of the kids was hustling enough down there and made the tackle. But I'll tell you what, number one contain guy is not making the tackle on this play. And he gets up the whole sideline for us. So we want to take advantage of that too. Now let's take a look back. Let's go back off the kickoff. Now I'm the kickoff guy and I'm looking for scouting on a kickoff return. Where are the holes? Oh my goodness. I'm loving this. Look at the right tackle right here closest to us on the line of scrimmage. Watch what happens when the ball's kicked. He's gone and turned already. That's that guy's normal position. I want to make sure I'm kicking the ball in that direction. Okay. And as I start to see down the line, look at the hole that we're starting to see in the middle around the 35-yard line again. I want to kick the ball there. I want to take full advantage of those little areas for me all the time. Okay. Next kickoff. Same type of things. I'm seeing different. Now the front guys are staying, which is pretty good. So now let me be the scout guy on the kickoff. What am I looking for on kickoff? Now I'm looking at the other team's kickoff. What are number ones doing? Number ones are kind of trailing again. All right. And I want you to take a look at a side closest to our side, okay? To the dark jersey sideline. Okay? Dark jersey sideline. Take a look at when this ball is finally kicked, how long it takes this side here to get down the line. These guys are already here. Look at the lag back here. Okay? Say, where do I want to take advantage of this? Well, I want to do right return here because I'm seeing a lot of guys lag. Look at 1 and 2. And I hope you can follow me when I mean 1 and 2, right? Here's 1 and 2 right here, closest to our sideline near the official. Remember on our kickoff return, and we were talking about kicking out and kicking out here? Look at what I can do. I can take advantage of 1 and 2 because they're already lagging. And number 3 is right here, which is a double team. I'm in great shape for a kick out block and a kick out block here. So I can get a right return here because of what they're giving me. Look at the rest of the team. The rest of the team is already up 10 yards up the field. So if I can set up a right return, they're giving me 1 and 2 already. And I can kick both of those guys out pretty easily. If not, just get in front of them in the drill that I showed you early. Just get in front of them and kick them out and shield them. And there'll be a hole because they created the hole by staying back. Number 3 will be double teamed, and 1 and 2 already put themselves out of position. So you say little things that you can look for, all right? By just putting a middle wedge in and a right or left return, you could take advantage of each one of these. You could probably still get away with a middle wedge as well, okay? One thing I just caught, which is great, you got to watch this on film too. Take a look at what's happening over here. You see 1 and 2 over the closest to the dark jersey sidelines. Look at what happened with number 1 and 2. They shifted. Another thing to pick up on film. See it? Now, where does that screw people up? Well, if the kids don't count off right, they're going to think this is 1 and this is 2, and then it flips. So make sure they count off, because at the start, this guy closest to the sideline is 1 and 2 is inside. As the ball's kicked, it shifts. All right? So just something to watch for as you're scouting. Okay? They kind of did it both sides. But they lag again. And I'm loving this because I would run a kickoff return right every time at this team. They're not getting down the field, and they're lagging, and they're easily blocked. Okay? So kind of taking advantage of everything you can kind of get from a team, okay? I'm going to just show you some punts and what we could take advantage of on punts too. Okay. Just want to move this. Hold on 1 second. Guys over here. So let's watch some punt action here. What should I be looking for in punt? Well, a couple things. Let's look at the count off again. Person protector sees it. Let's look at the numbers. There's a returner back here, right? There's somebody in our up backs, our wideouts, I mean, and 2 linebackers. So right now, I'm already accounting for 5 guys. That means there's only 6 guys up front at the most. Now, if they have a double returner back here, that means there's only 5 guys. All right, so it's going to be very easy for me to count off for my personal protector to count off and see which side we want to block. So we should never have a block punt here. This should be pretty good for us. Okay. Now, some other things to look for in a kickoff, or excuse me, in a punt. I just I'm scouting up the kickoff or the punt return right now. Let's scout up the punt. What am I looking for? Well, let's take a look. How far is this ball being snapped? Right now, that's only 10 yards. This ball is being snapped only 10 yards. Where's he going to kick it from? Let's take a look. He's kicking it from 8 yards. So my aiming point for block is 8 yards. Okay, so when I'm going to scout this team up, I'm going to look for 8 yards and tell my block guys all week to go after an 8-yard aiming point, because that's about where they kick it. Okay, as opposed to me going up the field and missing it. But I can practice this all week, 8 yards from that ball is being kicked. Okay. Here's another great thing I just noticed on punt. They don't attack the line of scrimmage. So take a look here. These guys are angled, first of all, and not attacking the line of scrimmage. So very easy for me to get through and get the block. So I'm probably going to block left or right here because I can take advantage of the of the angles that they're giving me here. Let's take a look at another punt. Say, what can we do to take advantage of this? Now I'm a scout, I'm a coach, and I'm on punt. I'm looking for what they're doing on return. Okay. I'm going to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys up front. That's it. 5 guys up front. And I don't see anybody outside this up back over here. I see a linebacker, but I don't see anybody outside. So what I can do is take advantage and call a fake to the right here. I probably wouldn't run option. I'd probably run the punter keep here because I could take advantage of hooking this guy and working up to the second level as the punter goes down the line of scrimmage or comes up the line of scrimmage. We only got to beat this linebacker, all right? Because the guy outside to the right is out of position out here, all right? So on this scout, I'm going to look to probably fake right. Only 5 guys on the line of scrimmage, and the last guy to the side is head up to inside shade. So I can turn and block these guys and get their punter up the field as fast as we can. Because here's another thing I noticed. Let's keep going here. What are these up? Look at these D-backs. What do they do on the snap? They take off and they're angled in. Watch. So they're already blocked if I run punter keep. They're already blocked. So all I have to do is tell I'm on scout as I'm practicing this all week. I'm going to tell my up backs just to get up the field and run because he's going to follow me. Make sense? Look at where this is going right here. He's following him up the field. And what I could do is just hook the inside. This guy's already hooked. He's already blocked in the line of scrimmage. So if everybody stepped right, personal protector can come up and take the linebacker, and we got a punter around the corner pretty easily. Again, anything less than 6 yards, we'll take advantage of this punt, okay, or this fake. Let's watch another punt on this. What are some of the things we can take advantage of here scouting both sides of the line? Well, first of all, I'm going to count how many guys. Let's say I'm looking at punt return. Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 guys back. That means there's 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, okay? 7 guys. So there's got to be an overload someplace. It looks like there's an overload to the right, okay? So my personal protector will go right, and block here. But let's take the other side. The other side to our punting left is wide open. Meaning all we have to do is hook the last guy on the line of scrimmage and we can fake it to the other side. Okay. So again, let's take a look at our areas that we can take advantage of. I can fake this left and get away with it. I could probably run option because there's no one off to the left. So when you're watching films of opposing teams, if you have that opportunity, and I hope some of you do, take advantage of all these little pieces, okay? All these little pieces that it gives you. I could probably run fake all game long and tell my personal protector just to find away from the overload, away from the overload. They outposition themselves constantly because they do this. They put the extra linebacker over here to the right, and there's nobody to the offensive left. Okay? So little things to pick up as I'm watching the films. Next thing, let's just be a punt return scout. A punt return scout. What am I going to watch? I'm going to watch their punt team. I'm going to say, how are they blocking? How far is the ball going to be snapped? How far is it going to be kicked? Right now, the ball's being snapped at 11 yards. Let's see where he kicks it. He's kicking the ball around 9 or 8 yards. So my block is at 9 yards. Okay? Say, what are the little things I look for? Let's take a look at how they're blocking up front. Not very good at the line of scrimmage. Backing up. We love when people back up. Back up means they're giving us the line of scrimmage. So we could take advantage of the angle and go try to block this probably from the right. I would block this from the right because the personal protector is away. Okay. Let's kind of take a look at some extra point field goal and how I could take advantage of that. There's a better, clearer one over here. So now here's extra point field goal. This is just going back to scouting. Okay. Too much overload here for me. If I'm on the extra point team, I'm looking to block. I'm looking to fake right. Look at the overload to the left. Too much. You're tipping your hand. You got to see this and be able to take off and go to the right because there's no one else to contain to the other side. There's one guy to the other side. So if we hooked everybody to the right at an extra point, we could fake this and get to the right-hand side. That's what I'm looking for when I'm scouting it. Now let's scout from the defensive side, and we're scouting the punt team. Take a look at this up back to the left. This up back to the left is angled and turned. That means he's giving me the shot to get to the extra point block. And he gets blown up right off the line of scrimmage. So what I'm going to do is I am going to block this on the right. I'm not going to overload it too much, but I am going to block this on the right. One little point of emphasis too. You see everybody's in a 2 point are up in their stances. Let me ask you this question. What are you faster at? Coming from a 3-point stance or up top? Well, if you were faster from up top, that means every sprinter in the world would start up top, right? So the point is, players are always faster from a 3-point stance. And when you're practicing extra point block, make sure they're coming from a 3-point stance, like a sprinter stance, to come off the line. Because this kid on the side, I think, just barely misses this. Barely misses this, right? So this kid right here to the right, watch this towards the end, barely misses the block. I'll tell you what, if he came from a 3-point stance and angled a little bit more, he'd make this block. Little things again. 3-point stance, get a little bit tighter, closer to the line, and take advantage of every little inch you can in terms of getting away with this, okay? So just kind of going back to one more thing here. I want to go back to just a couple things, and then we can finish up. Just some kicking game notes. We always put this up every year to our players. We wanted just to let them know what do's and don'ts and how to block a punt. Don't be offsides, watch the ball. All right, on a kicking game. Don't rough the kicker, automatic first down. Don't hit the holder on extra points, it's a re-kick. We can't hit the holder here. Don't fall on a block kick unless it's 3rd down, pick it up. Don't clip and don't block below the waist. Just some basic things. How to block a punt. Pick your landmark. All right. 5 yards in front of the kicker, 2 feet to the right. We talked about just some angles even when we were scouting. All right. Set the ball from the snap, block with your hands, dive for the ball by laying your body out flat and parallel to the line, not up. So your hands should be in front of you like this, not out like this. Always cross your hands because you got more surface. You missed the ball going like this. Cross them. If anything here, but cross them, you got more surface. You must believe you're going to block it for sure. And just remember, a block punt can be picked up in advance by you. On the 4th down, it's automatically ours, so just pick it up, right? The kicking game is a third of our game, as we talked about. It's always something that's going to kind of make change in momentum. And then the next slide is just goals that we always have. We want always to hold our kickoff returns inside the 40-yard line. We want to hold our punt returns to an average of 5 yards. We want to convert 75% of our 2 points and 90% of our 1 point. Let me just explain statistics to you real quick on this. If you're kicking extra points and you're only completing 70% of your 1 points, your extra points, just follow me on this. That means you only got to convert 35% of your 2 points to break out even. All right. So if you don't have a good extra point kicker, go for 2, because you only got to complete half of your 2 points to make up for that. Okay. You got a 90% or better extra point kicker, stay with it. But if it's less than that, statistics will show you only got to make up that. All right. So again, 70% extra point kicker, you only have to make 35% of your 2 points, right, to break out even. You can do 50%, you're always going to come out ahead. Take advantage of those things. We always want to score or set up a score someplace, block a punt, block a field goal, something to set up a score. Block 1 kick per game was always our goal. Our kickoff return average was always going to be 30. Our punt return average, we wanted to be 15. We wanted to handle every kick. This may sound ridiculous, but you'd be surprised how many times you watch a game that they can't handle kicks. I don't care so much about the return than me getting the ball. So I want to handle every single kick. And we don't want no penalties. That's our big thing team. We don't want to give away quick penalties. And finally, no fumbles. That's why we handle every kick, tuck a ball away, and make sure we get up the field. It's all about possession in this game, right? It's all about possession. So I know it was a lot thrown at you there. You can always contact me if there's any questions. Let me know as well. And you guys, if you have to, you can get my email and stuff from coaches and reach out to me. I know there's a lot thrown at you, but I don't know if there's any questions or anything else in particular.
Coach, before we take some questions, because you had your presentation up, you talked about how to place your hands when you're blocking a punt. People can see you now, so you'll be able to do that as a visual.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's across like this. All right. We don't want our hands out here. I see that all too often. You can go here if you want to, sure. But here I got more surface. Okay. And I want to come flat across, not up. Flat across. Because the trajectory of a ball is from down, under, up, not straight up in the air. Right. So always think of the trajectory of the ball. 3-point stance is crucial on extra point block and field goal block. You're going to get out the ball quicker if you can teach a kid to be a good, well, you find your fastest and quickest kid or player who's not afraid to go after something. You put him in the block for sure. So I know a lot of things thrown at you, but I just wanted to kind of show you what it looks like on film. And I think the last time I talked to you guys, I think a lot of you have more film now than you've had in the past as well. Am I correct on that?
Correct.
Of other teams?
Yeah. Guys, if we got some questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can unmute and ask away. Coach is here. While you guys are thinking about that, Coach, I just got a quick question for you. When you start talking about being able to fake, you've scouted where where I can take advantage. Is there particular areas on the field you will fake from and won't fake from, etc.?
Inside the 30, we'll never fake, and anything more than 6 yards, we won't. So
Right.
Inside the 30 and 6 yards. So when we call punt, for example, all right, I'll tell that person protector, I'll just go like this. He'll know no fake. If he doesn't see this from me, he knows he can go ahead and fake it. So I'll go inside 30. I won't give it a shot. Bill Parcells said anything inside the 30, you better protect the football. Better not throw a sweep. You better not fake a punt. Anything like that inside the 30, because it's about chances and gains. And he used to specifically call in a sweep play on the offensive play calling to see if the quarterback would change it. As inside the 30, you're taking too many chances of turning the ball over real quick for a quick touchdown. But we really got to take advantage of what people are going to give you. And I remember one game one time against a rival that we played for league championships every year. He would overload the right side of the line of scrimmage on a punt on punt block. And we taught our personal protector, as I told you today, if you see that, run the ball left. And he did that all the time. So it was towards the end of the game, even when we were up by 30 points, he did it. My player saw it. He faked it. Boy, did he get pissed off. He pissed off thinking we were faking punting, but it wasn't fake punt. It was more of taking advantage of, why would I want 4 guys coming after my punter if I could take advantage of no one to the other side? So they'll give you all these little things. Little things on films will add up to a lot come game time. I like watching those 1s and 2s on kickoffs and how slow they come down the field. All right. And they take themselves out of the play, or where there's gaps, where some kids go down faster than others, there's holes there. And we want to teach our returner to find where those holes will be. Because remember, all a kickoff return needs is a gap, right? A little hole to get through, and he's up the field and he's kind of gone. So.
You practice fakes when you're doing normal kicks as well? Just sort of, do you get sort of if you get the punt team or to actually recognize it in real time?
So the way we do practice every week, we do punt return on one day, kickoff return on one day, extra point field goal on another day. We take about 10 to 12 minutes. And then what we'll do is And this is a season progression. 1 week will be all drills. 1 week will be live offense again, kickoff return against punt. So 1 week will just be drills. We'll just do specific drills separate away. Then the following week, again, this is all lead up to the whole season, right? Because of timing wise. The next week we'll just go an offense against a defense or a punt against a punt return, and we'll actually show the overload and stuff like that. Go from there. We'll do a scatter report so they'll see it as well. But we do drill stuff every other week to make sure we take advantage of those little things. Those drills I showed you earlier, keeping inside leverage, taking a guy's momentum. If you can teach a player to really ride leverage and momentum on a kickoff return block, you have huge gaping holes. Again, remember, your returner only needs about 4 feet, right, to get through. So if we can find some type of lane where we can shield a few guys, we can find a hole to get up the field.
Coach, there's a question by Coach Rowley. You talked about gaps on kickoff. Do you only go for an inside stroke short kick when you absolutely have to, or do you take advantage regardless, i.e. first or second kickoff of the game?
What we'll do is when we scout it up, we're on kickoff. If we're on kickoff, you mean?
Yeah.
When we're on kickoff, we're looking at 2 things. 1, where's the alignment of the other team? And 2, who's back? Again, most teams where we're from put their best athlete back there. I am not kicking the ball to the best athlete. I'm going to find a hole or a gap someplace, and I'm going to teach my kicker all year long to practice 30-yard squib kicks, right or left or middle. If I got a kicker and kick to the 5 or 10 yard line, I will kick off to the 5 or 10, and then we'll really practice lanes, talking about keeping guys inside and in front of us. When we do kickoff, it's all about keeping guys inside and in front. So if I'm on the right side, I keep the guy inside, which is to my left, and in front of me as I start to collapse him. My thought concept, inside and front. I'm on the left side. Now he's inside to the right. If you can see, that's that corral the mode, right? Corral. If a guy gets in front of me, I'm in trouble. So keep the guy inside and in front of me till I can finally get him. And understand that this is a team effort. So there's 10 or 11 guys going down. So if everybody keep a guy inside and in front and finally make the play, no one will get past you. Inside and in front, extremely important, right? Inside and in front. And we'll really work hard all week about getting down there as a unit, no one lagging behind.
Coaches, any more questions? I'm checking the chat, or if you want to ask live, go ahead.
I know you guys don't have a lot of time with special teams, but boy, I would make sure you're designating. And again, think of this as a year-long thing. You got 10 games or 12 games in a year, make sure you're allocating that time every single week and working specific parts of the game. You don't have to work everything in 1 week because you just don't have the time. But boy, you can take advantage of little things and get that kickoff return that's 40 yards as opposed to 10, and get that punt return or get that extra point block or that punt block. You can change the complexion of an entire game. I had a list of games and championship games in my career. I think there was 18 of them that were decided by special teams. Either league championship, our sectional, or state championship were decided by a special team play, whether a kickoff return or a punt return or a block kick. So.
Okay. Coach, I don't think we've got any more questions, so it leaves for me to thank you for again, and I'm sure we'll get you back on. Appreciate your help. If you'll send me the PowerPoint, I'll make sure I distribute that once we have the film ready. So both to Coach Murray and Coach Nick, thank you very much. For the rest of you guys, thank you for supporting us and investing in yourself for your players and helping us to try and grow the sport over here and wherever you are. I know we had coaches from Turkey and Europe, and I think we also had one coach from Japan. So it's always good to do these things. The next talk is a month away. We will start working on that. And like I said, if you want to review anything, just go onto our YouTube channel and you'll be able to review it. Okay? So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the
Good luck with everything.
day. I'm certainly going to get out of here and enjoy the rest of my day. All right. So take care, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Perfect, coach.